You're listening to 107.3 FM, the Minutemen Talk Radio Show.
Politics is just all one big ass blast.
CT Ron.
Darling.
The Dark Frenchman, Steve.
Oh, oui.
And the Squid. On the Planet X Network, Arizona's independent political talk show.
What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Minutemen podcast, rocking out of our lab here in our underground bunker in the 623 in the driest state in the Union, Arizona. I got some Twitter shout-outs as always to the Sydney News, to the Progressive Democrat, to Adriana, to Knowledge to Seek, to Steve Martilda. Hey guys, thanks for being great followers.
Yes guys, thank you.
And we're going to be talking about that big hissy fight today on the Minutemen podcast between Steve Bannon and the Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump. And we got some more locker room talk today on the Minutemen podcast. What's going on, guys?
Not too much, man.
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
It is been
New Year, guys.
Great, yeah. Happy New Year,
Happy New Year,
everybody.
guys. Yeah.
New Year here. Happy New Year to all listeners, and we know we got listeners, so we know you're listening out there. We know you're out there, guys. We see you now. Thanks for all the love you guys give us, truly. We really like it. You guys are the reason we keep doing this show. So let's kick it off, as we always do today, with, actually, let's kick it off with a little bit of the locker room talk today. We haven't done one of that. We got to do that today. God, there it went again. Oh, no, there it went. All right, guys. So I have a question for you today.
Shoot.
All right, so here's the subject on locker room talk. When is it time to move on? Like, when we say we dedicate this in the memory of so-and-so.
Oh, yeah.
Or, when is it time to move on? And when is it okay to honor murderers if they were your friends? And the reason I actually, let me just bring up the whole context of this is because we don't actually speak a lot about wrestling on the show, even though I love wrestling.
Yeah, we used to sound close. Yeah,
I think I know where you're gonna go.
So recently, Chris Jericho, I'm sure you guys have heard of them. He's doing a promotion in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
And it's for Kingdom 12.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom, right?
Yeah. Wrestle Kingdom 12. And he's headlining the show. It's Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. And he ran into a fan that apparently had a fan picture of him. It's basically a picture of him standing in front of Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Oh. And he actually put it on his Twitter account and said, "Hey, I really like this. I really like this picture that this fan drew, this fan art." And he's getting a lot of backlash for it. Because, for all our listeners that don't know, Eddie Guerrero died of heart failure. Even though it was, a lot of people are saying it was accumulated steroids. Yeah. And then Chris Benoit, for those of you who don't know, has been erased from WWE history because he murdered his wife and his kid.
And hung himself.
So, I really want to get you guys' take on this. When is it time to move on to say, we dedicate this to so-and-so? And do you guys think it is okay to honor murderers if you're your friends? Well, he is your friend.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
They were best friends outside of
the good times.
Yeah, the WWE, and I can understand it.
But this is the WWE. Yeah, this is New Japan.
Yeah, and then totally separate from each other.
True.
Since this is New Japan Wrestling, I can't understand them doing this and him promoting this. And yes, I'm honoring his memory. But from like a WE standpoint, you still gotta not have any mention of Chris at all.
No, yeah, that's the whole thing. Some like this guy Ryan Sand said on Twitter, till people still defend Chris Benoit as a murderer because he wrestles good matches. Was Chris Benoit one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? Yes. Did he murder his wife and child and deserve to be erased from wrestling history? Yes. End of discussion. Everyone, let's move on.
That's sort of how it goes, though. I
don't necessarily agree with it, though. I'm not saying we shouldn't
erase him.
Just erase him from history like he never existed. That's his company's point, though. They did the same thing with Owen Hart, and that was a complete accident. So was it okay to erase him?
Yeah.
No.
But here's the thing: WWE now more than ever is a business. So back then they did it as a
yeah,
PR
but what kind
move,
of business are they? I mean, let's really sit here and talk about it. I mean,
they did it.
They
to
were a
Eddie
business
Guerrero.
that was for the children at one point.
Yeah.
You know, it's for the little children. And then now it's they moved into the Attitude Era, which everyone remembers with Stone Cold, where they didn't really care. It was like Jerry Springer on there 24 hours. Yeah, they were doing all kinds of stuff. And now it's kind of toned down a little bit from the blood, the violence, and the
kind of go back to
it's gone back to the kids era.
I don't think it's so much still the kid there. I mean, well,
it's a little past that now.
I think it's more for like
kind of in between a gray area. They'll do whatever they kind of want to when they feel like it.
So that's what I'm saying. I just don't think they should like. I'm not saying don't erase his memory. Like, don't sit there and like tell it for what it is.
I think
tell it for what it is. But don't sit there and be like, oh, let's just erase him. That's just my opinion on it. I mean, I'm sorry.
I think I agree with you and disagree with you because I think they have gotten better with that. I think they do include his matches on their streaming service they have. So there's something you can see him and acknowledge him as a fan, but they won't as a company, and I can understand that. You want to distance yourself with that, but for Chris Jericho, who's known that man, I guess, like seriously, ever since
most of his career,
him and Eddie Guerrero, they kind of grew up and they wrestled together and stuff like that. Well, not grew up.
But let me flip the script on here though. At Little Bighorn National Cemetery, there's a plaque that reads there to all the soldiers that were killed chasing hostile Indians away.
Ooh.
Now, let me ask you that. We honor those people, and clearly they were people that murdered Indians.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest about that. So do we erase them from history? No, we don't. I'm just saying, I guess from a company standpoint, it's okay. I just don't necessarily agree with it. I think that's pretty pointless to erase him just completely, like he never existed, never held the world title at one point.
Right. And I think
I'm not gonna lie, I was a Chris Benoit fan as a wrestler.
We all were,
we all liked him as a wrestler. We didn't know him as a
human
person.
being. He's trash, but you
say
personal
that being is a complete trash.
Yeah, but like he said in the tweet, that he, was he a great wrestler, like one of the all-time greats? Like, yeah, he was. Like,
I agree with that statement, but I don't necessarily think you should erase him from history.
No, you shouldn't.
Entirely from history, I don't think so. But they kind of did this with Hulk Hogan. He didn't murder anybody, but he came out.
And Bret Hart. Anytime somebody angers, Vince McMahon, they always seem to
get erased
from history.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of. Well, but it kind of makes me think of one wrestler, CM Punk. He basically gave Vince McMahon a big FU when he
he did.
Yeah,
and
but
then
he's still alive.
No, he got erased too. He's being erased
now.
Yeah, they're all doing
I feel like he'll get erased until some money talks. And then like he'll come back. We've seen other old wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior back in our day. He fell out with the company for like years, like 20 plus years, and then came back. Yeah, rightfully so. And he came back.
Asshole.
Yeah.
You've never seen any of there's a documentary about self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. That is great.
It's terrible.
All right, guys, so let's move on a little bit. We're going to move into another segment here. And, of course, everyone knows it as the good, the bad, and the weird. Alright, so I got this one under the complete bad, guys. I don't think this is actually a great story at all. And I really want to hear you guys' opinion on this. So, this one is actually from the Inquisitor. Art teacher fired for showing students classical painting, postcards containing nudity. So, there was a art teacher in Utah by the name of Montero Rude. He was fired after parents made complaints against him showing 6th grade students classical paintings containing nudity. That's right. Some people even called and said it was pornography. Yep. They were actually, what's funny is these were actually images that were in the school. He actually took them out of the school library. They were actually images that were still in the school, and he pulled them out of the library to show the students.
Okay.
Yeah, and he even said himself, he explained to Fox 13 News that he was surprised about the images. He was surprised they were even in the school. So he thought, by the school curriculum, it must have been okay.
Now these images, how graphic are they if they're art?
I mean, no, it's just a classical art.
I mean, topless, right? Maybe a full body,
like a butt shot.
Yeah, okay.
It's a butt shot here. From what's the painting I'm looking? Oh well, yeah, there's some nudity here. It's back shots and everything. But there's
it's
some
nudity,
back shots.
but it's not like okay.
I mean, you can find this article on Slate. Yeah, it's right. I'm trying to find the name of the actual painting here, but yeah, it's Lincoln Elementary, 5th grade. So that's pretty crazy. I don't know. I want to get you guys' take. I mean, do you guys have a problem with that? I mean, would you necessarily have a problem with your students? I mean, let's just talk about era we're living in, I guess. I mean, we're living in such
That's
a
exactly
world
what I was
of,
pointing out.
I'm not PC, but yet I get triggered by that. But it's in Utah, that's the other thing I gotta say. It is in fact in Utah.
Mormon City.
But the first thing that came to my mind, is don't we have, isn't there a lot of nudity depicted in the Bible?
Isn't there a lot of graphic nature, like, in the Bible?
Squid, you're a Bible thumper
Well,
here.
but I mean, in like child,
You have like
version
women
Bibles-
raping their fathers. You
but
have
no, but
Adam
they're
and Eve naked. First man and woman.
no, but for that, I'll go with that. We'll go with Adam and Eve. They actually have everything covered up. With Eve, they have her hair.
Please!
No,
You think God literally?
dude.
Then
You're
my
reading
God!
like the King James
Well,
version where they started
jeez.
censoring everything.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm
they
not
had,
trying to
like,
censor anything, but this
full-on
is what
stuff.
we're talking illustrations, right? But in a child's Bible, I don't remember if it was a King James or not, but I remember there are some Bibles out there that have illustrations, they have paintings, and some do show nudity, but they have it covered up, though.
Okay, what about this though? Is it better than Jesus getting stabbed with the spear?
Yeah.
And then there's like
What about
blood?
the holy
Well,
depiction
they
of our
show
Savior
that.
being crucified?
I mean, they do show that.
They
now.
do show that,
Yeah.
but they
That's
don't
okay.
share the
show 'em with
spear in the skin.
Children,
Don't
don't you
show
look
her
at
that blood.
this woman topless, but you look at your Lord
You
and
look
Savior
at him bleeding.
dying up there. He is dying for your sins up there.
Yeah, going back to callback to wrestlers, he looks like one that just like cut his head open.
Just serious.
He's, like,
I
bleeding
know,
everywhere.
I'm not trying to be like a hypocrite or anything, but there,
You are.
well, for like some churches, there's that line where they don't want any nudity shown,
we don't want our children to.
and they don't, like I said, they don't want their children shown.
In the library.
I know,
It's
and
like-
you know what? This makes me think back to high school. When we were in high school, one of our friends found a book and it had a bunch of nudity in it. And
Oh God, the children.
I mean, nobody batted an eye. Nobody paid too much attention.
Daddy, they were showing me new pictures at school today, Daddy.
What
But
did
I
they
mean-
show you, son?
It was a picture of a woman, a nude woman. Never seen such carnage in my life, Daddy.
Son, you go back and get that book for me right now.
But you know what? Would we be having this conversation if this teacher took these kids to, let's say, an art museum and there was nudity?
I think
all
it would
around?
probably still be the same thing. I think these kids would be like, he took us to a porn theater. I'm sorry, I don't see, because when I was in school, I saw pictures, nude pictures.
Right.
I mean, hell, come on. I don't know if it's just kind of the era we grew up in,
Yeah.
or what it is. It probably is. I don't know. Or
I don't
just
know,
the
no.
schools I went to were just different than Utah's, or maybe Arizona schools are just different. But I was shown nudity in paintings when I was in school.
Yeah.
We learned about the Greeks and the Romans, and we've seen paintings from back in the day like that. They have paintings that depict that. The Greeks.
Michelangelo's David.
Yeah, the Greeks used to go into war half naked. I mean, have you seen some of the pictures that are depicted that era? We went to the art museum. I don't see. This really bothers me how people are trying to, I guess, shelter their children from stuff like this because
Right.
that the only. I mean, come on, let's just be honest. And I don't mean to get in a locker room talk, but we know Mormon girls out here are freaky. So I'm just saying, if you shelter them out, sorry, if you shelter them out. If you shelter them, then I think people just end up just going to those desires more because they
Of course. Yeah.
never had a chance to experience
anything, you're going to suppress them from something like that.
I mean, look at you, Squid. I mean, you're a Bible thumper, drug-taking lunatic.
But I'm not a prude, though. I mean, if I had
You are a
children, I would take them to our art museum and saying, "Look at this painting." I mean,
They have
if
it.
there's nudity in the
look at it.
picture, I say this is a world famous
look at the
painting.
movies.
But as I'm saying, I mean, I'd show my child this. I mean, and yes, there's nudity in
There
it,
is,
but
a
you know what?
limit.
This
Don't get
is
me wrong. There is a
a
limit.
famous painting,
But
and it's
what was this? It was sixth graders, right? Is that what it was?
yeah, sixth graders.
Yeah, you're
Fifth graders, was it?
fifth grade. You're plenty old. You're
It's
plenty
like
old.
that Dave
to see it.
Chappelle joke. How old is 15 really?
You're plenty old to see that.
Pretty.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they've gone through sex ed.
that's a good point. And
Unless Utah schools are
no,
not. doing
okay.
sex
Think about it
ed.
like this, right? This is a PC era, but we're also living in an era where it's like almost common when you see a 13-year-old being pregnant every other like news
True.
article. So
Yes, that is true.
it's for them to freak out. I understand on a parent's level. You know what I mean? It's like their responsibility, so they want to show them the nudity. but it's art, and it was in the school's vicinity. That was the school's fault, not the teacher's fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's teaching. I mean, he could go to the principal and be like, "Why is this in here?" But who cares? We've all seen it before. I mean, seriously? When's the first time that you've actually seen breasts or buttocks, something like that?
16 says I just whipped your ass.
Literally, and granite ass, right? Because we're talking about our canvas.
Squid there for a second, Jesus.
Right, but
when have you seen a woman?
No, seriously though, I'm being honest. Like, when have you seen it? Yeah, it's common. You're going to see it. You see it on yourself. You're going to see it in the pit.
Yeah, I don't know why that triggers people. Then again, we could sit here and have a discussion like when we had, a while back on our show about the giraffe and how everyone was offended by a giraffe giving birth. They were like, "Oh my God!"
On YouTube, I know.
Giraffe is giving birth on YouTube. And then it's like, oh my God, these paintings have nudity in them.
It's like, well,
something triggers you.
Yeah.
That might be something wrong with you.
Yeah, right.
There must be. I mean, and honestly, this makes me think back to a Parks and Rec episode, where one of the characters paints the Park and Rec.
Oh, the centaur? It's bestiality. Yeah. That's a really good episode.
Yeah, it just made me think of it because, her breasts are exposed, and
she's all like, somebody had to have sex with a horse, and they would have that. It's just like, it's a Greek myth. It's a myth. It's not real.
It's not a real thing.
See, that's what kind of bothered me about that show is when they're like, yeah, we have to get rid of it. It's not real. It's a myth. You can't
it just has a face on it, which just makes it funny. I mean.
All right, so let's move on a little bit here. So let's get into a big subject that everyone's talking about before we get to the Donald Trump hit fit, which was North Korea. So Donald Trump actually tweeted out on on Twitter, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his and my button works. My first immediate reaction was, are you talking about your dick?
That's what I was thinking
like
too.
You're talking about your dick, but I don't want to. As funny as it is to sit here and make light of this, that's a very serious threat. And North Korea has actually they've said some things about it too. They've said that now it's on.
Yeah, pretty much. And in other words, I kind of love that tweet and hate it. I love it as like a recreational tweet, I guess. If he wasn't the president, I'd love it because he just calling them like starve, like go tell them whatever, right?
Like, take your poor regime. Actually, I didn't even think about it. That is a great point. Take your poor ass out here. He's like, how do you even afford to be on Twitter, loser?
Like, that's funny. That's a funny Donald Trump tweet. But then you think, oh wait, he's the president.
Yeah,
that's not.
I mean, when I saw that, I really just started.
He should have said something along the lines of, and by the time you see this tweet, like right underneath, by the time you see this tweet, you'll have to watch it on your news program because you're so poor you can't afford the internet.
He types a tweet, looks at the news. He's like, he's gonna respond to this.
Oh God, but seriously though, that's a very serious threat. It's another.
Crazy man talking to a crazy man here.
It's another bookmark in this crazy situation we have in North Korea going on, and of course it's worrisome right now. And right now, the North Korea actually just opened up a back channel to South Korea for the first time in decades.
Yeah.
For now, I don't know if that's to get peace, or I can't tell right now with this move whether because they're going to get nuclear weapons.
That is such a good question.
North Korea is going to get nuclear. They have them.
They said they had them.
They're going to keep them.
They said they had them.
And we'll say it again on the show. The whole reason they're keeping those nukes is one, because they want to be able to abuse their people. They want to be able to get away with it. They don't want to. They don't want to be told what to do.
And they need them.
Yeah, and they need them because they don't want to go the way of Gaddafi.
Yeah.
They don't want to go the way of Gaddafi because the minute they think they get rid of their nuclear program is the minute that America's going to invade them.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what they
They're
think
like
is going to happen.
that freaky, superstitious person that's like, I need to be armed at all times. I need to carry a gun with me. I don't know what might happen. It's like, dude, no one is coming after you. No one really cares.
Yeah,
I need this gun. I need it. I need it. It's like,
cheese.
Yeah, and then, Donald Trump is that dude who just the cocky douchebag. He bumps his shoulder against him. Watch out, loser! You just dropped your lunch. Laughing at him.
So on another note of that too, what's really funny is that a lot of people actually, I don't know if you guys saw, went on Twitter and complained and said, "This is a threat. How come you have not suspended this man's account yet?
Yeah.
How come they haven't suspended Donald Trump's Twitter account. And Twitter actually responded to this. They actually said it's a really interesting. So, they had, first of all, the tweet gained around, 353,000 likes.
Oh, good God.
In the first, couple minutes, probably. And then, see here, they, a lot of people asked that this is a threat, and while Twitter actually acknowledged that it is a threat, it says, Twitter, this is actually from Twitter, they said, you may not make specific threats of violence or wish for the serious physical harm, death, or disease of an individual or group of people. Now, basically they go on to say, violent acts and blah, blah, blah. Basically what businesses say, we don't...
Free place to express yourself.
Yeah, feel free to express yourself. However, it is a threat. But here's the ultimate thing that they said. And we'll post this article for you because it's very interesting. But they basically said they don't, they're not going to do anything because he's the fucking president. And it's newsworthy. That was the other thing they pointed out. Twitter said it's actually newsworthy. It needs to be said.
My goodness.
Such a pussy move.
You think that's a pussy move?
Dude, that's another,
I think it's great because, we keep saying,
The mania was a little bit ahead of the madness, man.
I mean, seriously, we because the Congressional Library says they're not going to keep his tweets anymore. I think this was a tweet they probably should keep.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's actually, you know what? God, that's such a good thing because it's like, it's going to boost them. They're always thinking about Twitter, right? Even though he's the president, it's good publicity to Twitter. You know what I mean? Any publicity is good publicity when you're a company like that. And they're tweeting something like that. They hate it, but then they're like, we need this up still.
So not only did Twitter say it's also newsworthiness that Trump's statement, so no matter what those statements are, Twitter allows his tweets to remain online because he's the U.S. president. That was one of the things they said, like I was saying. The other one is, the issue is that Twitter rules don't apply to whatever Trump posts because of who he is. That was what they said. This combined with another exception Twitter recently carved out for government and military allows Twitter to wash its hands of the matter. So the fact that Donald Trump's even part of the government, Twitter's like, we can't touch him.
So is the blood on their hands if something happens?
Interesting. That's an interesting point. That's a
because
great point.
Would
be Twitter to blame for nuclear war?
They're the middleman in all this.
Yeah. They are. But see, then again, I actually agree with Twitter, though. It's newsworthy. It needs to be said. It needs to be out there. They need to keep it no matter what. I mean,
it's that thing, though. Like Facebook, It's like you're influencing things. You have this expressive, social media site, but it can alter big things. I mean, look what Facebook did for the election.
Lead to a downfall.
Well, no, it can lead to war.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Downfall into war.
Rob is saying, like, okay, well, we'll wash our hands of this. And they're giving a very political statement here, but really, will they be? People are gonna bitch at them if war happens. They're gonna complain to Trump, but they're gonna look back at these logs and tweets. You can legit make like a book of all of Donald Trump's tweets.
Yeah, they're going to. They're
probably 50 threatening tweets to North Korea by Donald Trump.
I could see that happening, but you know what? I can understand it being a newsworthy movement, but them saying, "Oh, we're not going to do anything about it since he's the president, and that he's in the government." I mean, that's just saying. To me, I mean...
Dude, that's like Nixon level when he's like, when the president does it, it's not illegal.
I mean, I don't know. I disagree with you guys completely on it. I mean, I think they should keep it up. I don't think there should be anything taken down. Leave it up. Let people see how crazy he is. Let them see.
So they're just basically trying to let him hang himself.
I'd let him hang himself, yeah.
No, I mean, it's a viable thing.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean... I don't know. What did you want to finish your thought there, Squid?
No, I mean, you took over. I mean, and I can understand. I mean, if anything happens, I mean, he could end up actually destroying himself, putting like his entire foot into his mouth, saying the wrong thing, pissing off the wrong person, and starting a war. And I mean, that's on there. And Senate sees it and says, "Okay, we need to do something about him because."
Well, it's going to be too late. You can't.
Well, it's going to be
now we have to shut down his Twitter as well.
Well, here's another story for you guys. So check this one out. You guys don't
My curiosity is killing me just like a cat would be killed by the curiosity. Yeah.
Right. All right. So here's the add to your guys' note with the madness there. So not only is Trump, making threats against North Korea, he plans to announce a fake news awards.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yes. Yes, this man is actually, after going golfing for a few days,
like 30
coming
36 weeks,
coming
something
back
like
to work and saying, yeah, now I'm gonna hold an award show for the fake news. Fake news.
Dude, are we like on the road to a White House reality show for the first time?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, we are.
We are.
Is it gonna
And
happen?
Donald Trump is
Mr.
going to be
Trump!
our
And
house.
today, and for this announcement, the first media to most lies against Trump is fake news CNN. Thank you, everybody. Fake news CNN. Come on
I
down.
know.
But my question is, if he does this, is he going to hold it in the press room, or if he's going to
Probably.
hold it in the
He's
Oval
actually
Office?
Oh, actually,
Jesus.
in the Oval Office. Yeah,
That way
that's
he
what
can,
said.
like,
It's in
have
the
a,
Oval
like,
Office.
little
No,
podium,
it's in
no?
the Oval Office. That's what he's doing. He's doing it in the Oval Office.
Oh my God.
I just want to see who shows up to that.
No one.
Everyone will. Everyone wants to see if they get denounced, man. That's the thing. I don't know if there was an article recently, and God, I cannot remember it. Oh, no, it was actually Trump that said it. Trump brought up a really good point, and this is actually another good thing. I cannot believe I'm actually going to agree with Donald Trump here in a second.
What?
Because Donald Trump said the media loves me. Remember that tweet he said just last week? He said the media needs me. They want me reelected.
Yeah.
That's what Donald Trump said
He
last
said
week.
that, yeah.
Yeah. I actually kind of agree with him there. Because you just said who's going to come to this? They're all going to come to this.
Mhm.
They're all going to go to his
Even though
little
they hate
fake
him.
news award, even though they hate him.
Even though
Because
they hate
why? They want to see what's he going to say. They want to see the crazy man, how much, what can he juggle all at
That
once.
is so true. I mean, he kind of
That's what
got
they
him.
want to see.
He kind of got him.
They want to see, God, what is the guy from, I lost my train of thought here, from Wizard of Oz.
Oh, the
Straw Man,
The
whatever.
straw man,
Oh, the
lion.
scarecrow?
Scarecrow, yeah, they want to see
yeah.
the Scarecrow, run everything.
Oh my God.
Because, doesn't have a brain. You know what I'm saying?
If I only had a
I don't
brain.
even. No, Jesus. You know what? It's a funny thing, man. It's like he kind of pseudo outsmarted them in a way because, like, you're right. As a news organization, you're probably like, oh, son of a bitch, now I gotta go to this.
Well,
You have to go. I mean, you don't have to, but you're gonna go. They're gonna be the Washington Post there, and then they're gonna bitch about it when they leave, like, oh, it's shitty here. You know what I mean? It's like, but you went. He got you.
Yeah, no, he uses the media. I mean, the media uses him too. And he came at such an interesting time in our political atmosphere. I mean, this is because the media for years did not call out anybody on anything. That was the major problem. They didn't call out anybody for anything. They were all doing these puppy dogs, lost in the sewer stories, all this sensationalism. You're gonna die.
3-year-old down the well.
Cats are gonna kill you. Oh my God!
Right,
Your
yeah.
hamster's getting shoved up your kid's butt. Fox News tonight. It's the truth, though. I mean, they used to just do so much sensationalism news that when Trump came along and he just blew up that shock factor because they were always looking to get to that shock factor. Now they don't know what to do.
They don't know how to handle it.
Now they just siphon off of him.
That's such a good
That's what
point.
they do. I mean, there was. I think Don Lemon said, should we just react to every tweet he does? It's like, yes, you will, because he let you do
Let
that.
him do it because he knows you're gonna do it. He
Yeah.
knows it, man.
I mean,
He does.
even Trevor Noah said, like, seriously, he made the greatest point on the Daily Show is when he's like, if Trump the next day said, I just found out goblins are faster than unicorns, the media doesn't report it. Sad. Don Lemon would be hosting a holograph of a unicorn and goblins that have people on the panel talking about if unicorns and goblins are real. And the next day, Trump would just tweet out, the coverage of the unicorns and goblin race, totally fake news. Like, and they would totally go crazy for it. They would go crazy.
It's so true.
It's just how it is, man. I mean, so let's shift away from Trump here. Let's get into a little bit of some movies this year. So, did you guys hear about some of the new top 10 movies that are coming out this year?
I did, yeah.
Most anticipated movies.
So one of them is March 9th will be A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, the Disney film, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is from Ava DuVernay's adaptation of the fantasy novel. God,
Yeah.
Melinda D. Eagles? I can't say that name.
Yeah,
Eagles?
Name's
Sorry,
really-
I've read A
really
Wrinkle in
weird.
Time. It's a great book.
I haven't read it.
It's a great book. Isle of Dogs, will come out March 23rd.
Yeah,
That-
that one.
Yeah, but I don't even know who's in this one.
I love
Bryan
dogs.
Cranston, Scarlett
Oh.
Johansson, Bill Murray's in it.
No way.
It's actually the first stop-motion animated movie since Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh,
It's set on a garbage island inhabited by dogs.
interesting.
It is. That does sound interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Ready Player One. Steven Spielberg makes his overdue return to fantasy filmmaking, shaping a virtual reality world inhabited by 1980s pop culture icons.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I've
Did you guys see the trailer of
I
that one?
have.
No,
It
yeah,
looks
but
really
I haven't
good.
seen
It's terrible. It's like everyone's calling it the rip-off of like the Matrix.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a trashy like home world, and you escape into this alternate reality that basically is the Matrix. It's just with like virtual reality
Oh.
goggles on.
Oh, reminds me of that Batman Beyond episode where all the kids are going to just that virtual reality.
Oh,
You guys
it's
all
the
like,
same thing, but they just made a movie out of it.
makes
with,
it
like,
all
video
addicting.
games.
Or even you can even take that to what's the one with Bruce Willis, where everybody's robots.
Crap, I can't remember the movie.
Look that one up, Squid. It's the one with Bruce Willis where everybody's robots.
Everyone's like androids, sort of.
Well,
Yeah.
it was like the younger stuff of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sort of like that, but it's like you jump into the video game world too. So like,
Interesting.
you see Donkey Kong running around, and then like you see the Halo guy running. It's really weird. It's very CGI.
Okay, so it's different levels, and I've seen the trailer and I've kind of read into it. Basically, the whole premise is that because, like, and how you were saying, they're living on this junk world, and a lot of people go into this virtual reality, but the person who created it is dying, and he made one level this key, and if you can reach this key, you get his entire fortune. You become
That sounds
the next
almost
owner.
just like the Matrix.
Pretty much, they were like, it's the same thing. Like you like are
Like
the leader
there's
of the thing. Yeah,
designer and stuff
the
like
designer, and there's
Find
like
that
a
movie
world,
at Squid?
Looking up right now.
Alright. It's with Bruce Willis where everybody's robots or whatever. So here's another one. This one will be May 25th. I'll definitely be at the theaters for this one. The solo Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the interesting about it, who's directing that?
Let's see here who's in it. Ron Howard.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy, right? A Ron Howard film with Star Wars?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that's gonna go, man.
I don't know. I was, like I said, if anyone didn't listen to our last review about Star Wars, I suggest you do, but I actually expect this film to be better than
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
I think
what movie was it?
I did. It's Surrogates.
Surrogates.
Yeah, that's right.
I should have known that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Surrogates. That was the one with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Star Wars film, though, I expect it to be better because it's going to be an interesting story, especially if they do it right. It's going to be how Han Solo met Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And from the popular
Lando.
lore that I remember, it's he saves Chewbacca from slavers from the Empire when they enslave Kashyyyk.
Oh, is that okay? Is that how he does it?
That's from the From
It's
the
interesting.
comics.
What's his face? Donald Glover. He's
Playing-
supposed to be Lando. So
Yeah, he's
that should
playing
be good.
Lando.
Really?
Yeah.
Danny
and-
Glover?
Yeah.
No,
Don
Donald
Glover. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's just.
Love that guy. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, it might be good. I mean, he's a comic book guy. He loves Star Wars, so it could be good. I'm hoping it's good.
Well, another big name attached to that movie is Bruce Willis. Or not Bruce Willis, but Woody Harrelson. He
Cool.
plays the mentor.
He's
of
kind of
the-
in everything.
He's in everything, so it won't kind of mess me up.
Yeah. Pretty much because he was in Hunger Games. That destroyed him for me. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through this because we got to move on a little bit. Ocean's 8 is another one that's coming out. That's the one where it's an all-female
version.
cast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really hate saying I don't want to see those movies that are going, and it's not because it doesn't have, it's an all-female cast. It's mostly because it just looks like it's a terribly written portrayal of Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
So Boy Erased is another one. True story of a Baptist preacher's gay son forcing the church.
Yeah,
that's right up your alley, Squid.
Oh, ha ha ha.
There's a Bohemian Rhapsody coming out, which is going to be the
Bro.
long-awaited
Eddie Mercury movie.
Freddie Mercury.
Or Freddie Mercury,
I
yeah.
gotta get it right, Freddie Mercury, man.
That might be weird.
No, it looks
Mary
really good.
Poppins Returns. God, who needs another one of those?
Why do we need that now?
Well,
Yeah. Here's one that I will see that I'm actually very interested in too, Steve. I want to know what you think about this. Spike Lee's new film, Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Tells the true story of a black policeman who infiltrated a Colorado chapter of the Ku Klux Klan, eventually becoming its leader.
Wow.
Yeah, that
really?
might be interesting by a Spike Lee joint. I
Yeah.
want to see that actually because
I
That looks
too.
interesting.
it could be interesting.
Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to our main topic tonight, because this one's going to take up the cake, and I think this one is hilarious, because we got a cat fight here, man. So, Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. Who would have guessed? Who would have
Two
guessed? man?
heterosexual men, just full of testosterone guys. You know what I mean?
Going at it.
Just going at it.
Just fighting, just getting all slopped up, you know what I mean? It's just all... Yeah.
Sick and tired of you guys. You just broke my glasses.
As a Minutemen exclusive clip, just so all our listeners know. You will not hear that clip anywhere else. So, Trump, this actually is from Yahoo News. Trump loyalists reaction to President Trump's dramatic Wednesday split with former campaign advisor Steve Bannon ranged from open glee to caution to frankly steering clear of the political smash-up. The White House came to bury Bannon, not praise him in the wake of Michael Wolff's explosive account of the long-shot Trump campaign for the presidency. The book Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House quotes Bannon, the Breitbart news boss, who worked on both campaign in the West and in the West Wing, as saying the president's son engaged in a treasonous meeting, 2016 meeting with a group of Russians. So Steve Bannon basically came out and said, "Your boy, yeah,
He did dirty.
he did dirty.
Yeah.
Your boy did bad."
Wow.
Yep.
Good
And,
Lord.
all I have to say about this though is
Good.
because I tweeted out today. All this means is this might be the end of Trump, guys. The reason, and let me be clear, and before everyone gets excited, before everyone goes crazy here, this is why I say that, because I have been saying since the day the show started, Trump would not be impeached unless the base started to leave. This is him attacking outward the alt-right. Straight up civil war on his biggest supporters. He has evangelicals, and then he has alt-righters. The anti-Semitism, the racials, the whole Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us. Blood and soil. Blood and soil.
so
Those
soil
crazy
and
bastards.
blood.
They're like my favorite quotes, man.
If I was there, I would totally try to mix it up though. I'd be like blood and soil. I'd be like soil and blood.
I mean,
soil and blood. Soil and blood. Anyway, soil ourselves.
Soils and Jews. Right. Just
Anyway.
mixing them up.
But this book though, the Fire and Fury, that was the revelation that it was treasonous acting between Don Jr. Now that
So,
let me ask you guys this: do you think this is because Bannon is trying to deflect the wrongdoings he's done so far, or do you think this is he truly didn't know? Because I've also said since our show began that the alt-right loves Putin. They love the Russians. They really do. They love anything that's Russian propaganda against America. They really embrace it, and the alt-right has embraced that. Steve Bannon has embraced it. Alex Jones embraces it. They all embrace it.
Yeah.
They use Sputnik and spew straight up propaganda. It's been proven. You can look up anything on Alex Jones, so it's straight up on Sputnik. But I really do think his approval rating will drop now. I do. I honestly think it'll drop below 32% soon.
because of this.
I think it's gonna stick around 32.
I don't.
This is like dark
He's
side on
attacking
dark
Steve
side. Yeah,
Bannon.
this is like
I know he is.
alt-right on alt-right prime right now.
No, I do not think alt-righters will choose Trump over Bannon. They're gonna because if you think about it, you think they're gonna sit there and say Bannon helped Trump win.
I don't know.
Bannon
man.
Bannon was I think Bannon was even quoted saying that it was him. He was the one that did it. It was all his strategy.
You call him treacherous and a liar.
Who? Trump did?
No, Steve Bannon to
Oh yeah, I
Trump.
said that about Trump.
Yeah, he said he was one of the most disloyal, dishonest presidents that we've ever had in history. He's coming out and just saying everything.
Because I really do think. Excuse me. I really do think it wasn't so much that Trump wanted to win the presidency. I think Bannon wanted to
do
win
it.
the presidency.
Yeah.
And
You think it's that? Like he wanted to further his way all the way?
I do. I think Trump thought, in a sense, and this is just me kind of thinking out loud. Besides getting help from the Russians, I really do think that it was a means to just get a business deal. Means to promote his book, promote his companies, do all that stuff.
Understand.
Make his name, make his brand bigger. Be like, I ran for president. But I think he didn't really think the populist ideals of Bannon would actually get him there and propel him there. And I think the Russians actually helped him out with that. I do think, and this is just me being, this is my theory, that Bannon was involved more than he's saying he is with the whole Russian meetings.
Of course he is. He's not giving the full truth.
I absolutely believe Bannon is just as involved with the Russian conspiracy.
He's just like, oh, he did.
And like I said, the only reason I have that proof is because if you go and look at Breitbart, Alex Jones, and a lot of the far right-winger sites, they all embrace Russian propaganda. They all do.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
I think this is going to be the end. I do think it'll drop because who is his supporters? Evangelicals, alt-righters that are racist, anti-Semites, and some of them will split, some of them will stay with Trump.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know, man.
The rest of them will leave because they're going to say, Trump's a cuck. They're going to say Bannon's the one that got him the presidency, and now he turned his back on Bannon.
Oh my God, that's like which one's the lesser of the two evils?
They're going to say Trump has been taken over by the neocon moderate Republicans. So that is what they are going to say.
That's an interesting fact you just said because this is going to that wouldn't mean that the necessary end of Trump. That would make him look good. Because they would be like, well, he was corrupted. He was corrupted by Bannon. Look at Bannon. Bannon's the true evil. And then Trump can play that off like, yeah, you know what? He was. I'm sorry. You know, he could do that. I can totally see Trump coming out and saying, like, listen, I'm sorry, America, for my actions.
Yeah.
As of this past, whatever. I'm telling you, and those people will look at Bannon and be like, well, you know, what are you doing for us? Well, he's still our president. I would.
I know so.
That's an interesting flip.
Do not underestimate the poor.
All I'm going to say is I think it's a flip of the coin here. I think it could go one of two ways. We've actually made some good 2 points there. I mean, it could go one of ways. It could work out for Trump if he denounces Bannon and say, hey, this was the guy that was making me make all those poor choices, all those poor policy. It was all Bannon. And
well,
then again,
him the lightning conduit.
But then again, he's going to lose that. But he's going to lose those alt-righters. The alt-righters that are the hardcore base. Those are the guys that go out wearing the Trump shirts, starting the fights, breaking people's arms for Trump. You know, if you say anything bad about Trump, those guys are going to go.
And you are. I think you're totally right. I think they're going to do that. They're going to come right out and they're going to be like, well, he's a cuck. He was all along.
Yeah.
It was really him.
It was really Bannon and everything.
Yeah,
it's our support.
And the administration's going to look at that and say, flip the switch on him and make him the evil bad guy. Put all the hate on him. Have Trump come out and say, "Listen, this guy's a."
I don't know.
I mean, he said that.
Unless they're listening to our podcast, I don't think they're smart enough to do that.
No, man. I mean,
that would be a good cover. That would be a good cover. I won't lie. That would be an excellent cover.
If he was
just like, he's like, Bannon's the one that steered me to the wrong doing. But then again, it's not. I hate to say it though. Bannon's ideals are actually the correct ones, and not the racist ideas, but Bannon's idea of like, you know, there are sides of nationalism that are good.
Right.
Like keeping jobs here in America, working inward to make America better. That is great. That is good. Those are good ideas that come from that. The whole being, you know, white supremacist though, white nationalist.
That's what I mean. It gets covered up by that.
It gets covered up by that. But there are some aspects of nationalism that are a good thing, and we do have some aspects of nationalism in this country.
Yeah.
We do. It's good to have nationalism in certain aspects, but when you get
in the wrong hands of them.
Yeah, but when you get to the whole us and them mentality is when it gets bad. Yeah. I'm talking about the nationalism side on making the country economically better in the more progressive way, which actually kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Here's my take, and it's not on
People
this article.
like it too, though.
But yeah, that's true, and they do like that. And this is why this is a dark horse thing. And it's not in the article. I'm just throwing this in by myself. What is going to happen? This is a brilliant opportunity for the Democratic Party. What are they going to do about this?
What is the Democrats do about
They're
this?
basically looking at their opponents tear each other's hearts out.
I personally, if the Democrats were smart, and if I was writing one of their strategies, I would say, first of all, I would harp on the fact that look at this administration. Look how there is no coordination. You guys are fighting in and out. I want to need
the in-house fighting.
I mean, look at this. You guys, I would be playing that all the time. First of all, I would have
finger. Just
I would have that clip of Trump saying, "We're going to bomb their families. We got to take out their families." And I would have all the troops that have died unnecessary from all the not necessarily actions he's taken, all the stupid military decision making he's done. Like we know, the first one he did, he killed a American girl. It was like a 12-year-old I forget where it was. A girl though in their raid.
Yeah, Pakistan.
It was Pakistan.
Yeah, I think it was Pakistan.
Yeah, and it was a raid that Obama didn't even want to do. You know, crazy stuff like that, man. You know, and I think though, even without Bannon, I think Trump is a terrible policy person. He listens to the worst of the worst.
See what you just said right now. He listens to the worst of the worst. Who's the worst of the worst? Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon was bad, but Steve Bannon was bad on the racist end of things.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
And what I'm saying, though, when it came to the economic side of things, Bannon actually kept him not so much a warmonger. He wasn't a neocon.
Yeah.
Now Trump's becoming full-on neocon now. There is definitely a dark horse to this.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, because he can wash his hands so clean if he
was smart about it.
If he was smart about it, he could just be like all the neo-Nazism that was in the past of me not saying anything. That was all Bannon. He could just push it all on him, and people would look at him and be like, "Yeah, you know what? He's right."
You think the liberal Democrats and all that would actually start to go?
Those same people that went to those booths are the same people that are turning on Fox News to look at what's next. And I'm telling you,
I'm telling you, they're going to turn on him. I think Trump's approval rating will get lower than 20%.
At first, I think.
And this is why I say this is why I even brought the subject up with this, because I think the minute that the GOP, the minute the Republicans do not feel the burn, right, Bernie? Feel the burn from his supporters, the backlash, they will abandon him. They will start to denounce him more and more because there will be no fear of, oh, you went against the president. No, they're going to be like, fuck the president, you know?
Yeah.
Think about
They're
it.
going to be the anti-establishment that they
Think about it, though. Think
yeah.
about it. Because what's the main problem with all the Republicans? They're scared of Trump's base.
They are.
Paul
yes.
Ryan is terrified of his base. I mean, Paul Ryan can't even get on stage without them, you know, calling him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Flake, look at Jeff Flake.
Oh,
He's not
all
even on
those-
stage. He's
yeah.
not even.
That's
he's
what
not
I'm saying. Look
responding.
at John McCain. They turn on anybody that
They
doesn't
do.
kiss Trump's ass. So just imagine for a second if they didn't care about that. They're going to turn on him. They're not going to care.
That's
They'll
such a
flip
good
the
point. That's
script
a
on
good
Trump.
But,
That's a good point.
I'm gonna bring it up like when you were saying how Trump should wash his hands with Steve Bannon. I don't think he's gonna do it though. I mean, he's not gonna denounce anything that like Nazism, neo-Nazism.
Well, just by him fighting Bannon, that's basically
Well, I mean,
doing that.
fighting with him, but like Henry saying his numbers are going to go down, and that's why I disagree with you. I mean, they may go down, but me personally,
They'll go down.
I don't think they're going to go down.
They'll
I
go
mean,
down.
No, they
the
definitely
more if
will.
he keeps fighting with Bannon, then yes, I could see his numbers
No,
going
he's
down.
No,
going
it's
down.
it's going down now because he's
Dude.
already started the fight,
Yeah.
and people are already they're watching it. It's not like they're going to be like
Yeah,
putting
he
this
said
out. They're
Bannon was
turning it.
terrible at his job.
Yeah.
He said-
He basically said like he got
What he does to
fired and he
everybody
lost
else.
his mind. Basically saying what we were saying.
Like,
yeah, hey, I understand
yeah.
what you guys mean. You know, this
he
Bannon
denounced
character's
him the way
crazy.
Trump does. You know, terrible loser Steve Bannon,
Yeah.
terrible at his job.
Right.
You know, he basically gave him the Trump smack.
You did.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, I gotta disagree with this. I think his approval rating will get lower
I
because
agree.
some of those alt-righters will start to leave. You know, he's gonna start losing support. I'm surprised that David Duke hasn't already come out and said something.
Oh no.
You
No
know,
way. See, there's,
No.
there's groundhogs that stay in their holes, and those are the
David
ones
Duke's
that
going to be
want-
one of them.
No, I mean, like, I feel like they go in. They're in their holes for a reason. Only when they're called upon, and I feel like when they need people to talk about this, then they'll come out. But right now, I definitely believe 100%. I'm agreeing with you, Rob, here. Where he's gonna fall, but I also disagree. I got to go with the fact that these people they flip flop just as much as they are. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of the base that stays with Steve Bannon because just like you said, that's kind of where they're at. You know, the whole pickup trucks, you know, the good old boys with the Trump hats on, you know, and just the dumb idiots, you know, the rich boys that with the Trump hats on, they're going to go with Steve Bannon.
Yeah, they're gonna go with
They're
Steve
going to be
Bannon.
like, yeah, Donald Trump's an idiot.
yeah, they're
gonna be like,
all right, all right,
all
man.
right, all the way. But there's also going to be that basis of that middle class
It'll be
family.
the evangelicals. It'll be the evangelicals that stay with
evangelicals
him.
that stay with him, and they're gonna be like, well, no, you know, he kind of maybe he's telling the truth because this guy, and they're gonna read his articles, right? They're gonna go to his site and look at it and be like, no, you know what? I think that whole thing with Charleston, that was Steve Bannon. They're gonna start blaming
I'm
all of
telling you,
these
I don't
stuff
know.
on that. I can definitely see
I
that.
think if he listens to this podcast, he'll start doing that.
Dude, they're gonna
That's
start
an
blaming
excellent
everything.
point.
All these the shootings that happened, all of the protests that happened in 2017,
Put
it's
it
gonna
in
be
a point to
all
Bannon.
on Bannon.
I really want to read his book too. I actually want to see the Fire and Fury. I want to actually see what that's going
Oh,
to be
it
about.
wasn't called cheeseburgers and fries.
It should be called Cheeseburgers. Fire, that's a great point. Fire and Fury. You might as well call it the story of Fire and Ice. I mean, seriously, have a picture of
Ice soda.
Okay, you know what? No, Steve Bannon should have did that. He should have called it Fire and Ice, and he should have had himself on an iron throne and been like, "Yeah, I'm the one that did it." Now that would have been a slap in the face.
Are you hearing that, George R. R. Martin? He's writing your story for you.
You hear that, Steve? That's what you should do. That's what I would have done. I would have went with it like that. If
Maybe on the
I
Iron
would have
Throne
went
at the
full
end.
fuck you, I would have went like full fuck you, dude, like Tupac status. Been like, yeah, you know, I banged your wife. I would have gone full. I banged Melania. I would have gone full freaking gangster on him, dude. I would have.
Your son was calling me dad.
I
all
would,
this other
dude,
stuff.
I would have it in every bookshop, just me sitting on the Iron Throne and being like,
my
yeah,
God.
it's not Trump,
Signing
it's me.
autographs
It's not
like that.
Trump, it's me. That's what I do, man. That's
Yeah.
what I do. So let's get a little investigation. Let's get a little update in the Russian investigation, actually. So there's actually been some little developments in the Mueller investigation. So this week, actually, Rosenstein met with Ryan about the Russian investigation, and this actually comes from The Hill. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and Rosenstein and FBI Director Christopher Wray met with Speaker Paul Ryan on Wednesday about the House Russia investigation and GOP aid confirmed. Confirmed. Rosenstein, escorted by a security detail, walked by a number of reporters who were stalking out the budget negotiations between top White House officials and top congressional leaders. The meeting in the Speaker's office came at the request of Rosenstein, Let's see, and it was about Deputy Attorney. Well, it was about Devin Nunes. So they are actually, and see what this is about was mostly Nunes, and the rumor has it that they're actually going to force Devin Nunes to resign. And for our listeners who don't know, Devin Nunes has been for months. He's been basically withholding documents, information, changing things. He's
offering stuff.
Yeah, he's been making weird requests into the Steele dossier. He's trying to make more basically he's the guy that's trying to derail this whole thing. He's like the only one when they call witnesses, he's like, we don't have any witnesses. He's one of the ones that's really he's working on behalf of the Trump administration. Not only that, but back we actually reported on the show, he actually took a story from the Inquirer magazine. And he actually used it to try and get information about the investigation in the Trump ones.
Wow, weird.
Yeah, so he's kind of been going all out to do this. So, even though the dossier has been verified to be a opposition research document, which to me, who cares? And I don't know, I think that's hilarious how everyone's like, oh my God, can you believe this? Yeah. So it goes on to say, Nunes in August issued 2 identical subpoenas to the Justice Department and the FBI demanding the agencies hand over information about the dossier and the Bureau's relationship to its author, former British spy Christopher Steele. See? So he's trying to uncover all the stuff for the Trump administration. Like, that dossier? Well, who told you that? So that's pretty much what Nunes has been doing. He kind of he's like, what's that guy from Lord of the Rings, the one with the tongue? Wormtongue.
Wormtongue, yeah.
Yeah, he's sitting there, he's like, don't you think we're all tired of your warmongering?
Oh, my God.
Your Russia talk. He's all whispering in Trump's ear.
Yeah, subpoena 2 times, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's perfect for him, though.
So, he has also threatened Rosenstein and Wray in contempt of Congress. So basically, what they're talking about is they want to actually get Nunes out. They think Nunes has actually violated a lot of his committee
rules.
Yeah, a lot of the committee rules. So they're actually looking to get rid of him now.
Man.
Let's just talk about the whole Mueller investigation up until now. I mean, it was recently discovered too, and we tweeted this out that I believe it was 38 times or 31 times the Trump campaign met with Russians. Some of them were under oath and lied about it. That has been confirmed now. Jeff Sessions.
Dude, 38
Jeff Sessions.
times,
Dun, dun.
31. It's around 30 times.
31.
Over 30 times. About 30 times. They've met with Russians, and some of them lied about it.
Dude, even
Of
over
course they lied
20
about
times,
it.
that's like, wow, that's a lie. Over
Did you also
30
hear that
times?
Paul Manafort now is suing?
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Sue him. He's
He overstepped his boundaries and caught me doing something I shouldn't have done.
Here's another funny one. He has too many black people on the committee. Did you guys see that?
Such a
he has
baby.
He has too many black judges on his investigation.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
First, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I actually did hear about that.
Yeah,
So
he
all of a
has
sudden,
that-
that makes it,
It makes it irrelevant.
Like,
Don't you
nope.
understand, Rob?
Nope,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not diverse.
It's like O.J. Simpson all
So,
over
yeah,
again, right?
we're going through this. I don't like a life in the
It's not
streets.
fit.
It's gonna be another Charleston.
No, seriously, that's the biggest issue with O.J. The biggest issue with O.J. Simpson was, and I don't mean to say it, the most common white people was, the justice system doesn't work, it's not fair. It's bad, it doesn't work. It's like the first time it didn't work for you.
Go back to like 1933.
No, seriously, that was a big thing with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
That was a huge thing.
It was about revenge because it was turned against them and they were pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, we all remember that.
The Bronco chase.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid. It was insane.
But God, that's so crazy.
Let's just popping back on the Steve Bannon joke too. On the Steve Bannon thing, I actually wanted to also. Did you hear Trump Jr.'s his little response to Steve Bannon?
No,
He's like, Breitbart just spreads lies and fake news.
He sounded like a child.
Yeah.
Man.
What makes me laugh is this is the guy who is posting pictures, Photoshop pictures of him with Pepe the Frog when they were the Expendables. Remember that? What happened to that?
What happened with you and the Obama cookie?
Yeah, what happened with that? What happened with all that?
Come on, man. Own up to your truth, dude. You gotta live that truth.
Breitbart just lies.
They're lying.
Oh,
Daddy, help.
I cite their stuff all the time until they go against my dad, and they're nothing liars because they said I had a treasonous meeting with the Russians.
Jesus, don't get your freaking Doc Martens in a bunch
twist.
there, Rick Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you hear Eric Trump talk about the new golf course that's going to go in Russia?
No, did really?
Yeah,
Did they
he
actually have
brought it up. He said, "Oh, this is, or we're going to
Wow, that's all you can say to that.
golf course in
Wow, a golf course? Oh my God, you gotta be joking.
No, dude.
No, he literally
Yeah,
talked about it.
I saw it.
Oh, jeez, actually, I've looked at
Yeah, see now, well, just on your take on this, Rob. Just hearing this now, a golf course in Russia. What does that just mean, just based off of name status alone?
It's like the time I heard Trump Jr. Say that, yeah, we get most of our money from Russia.
Just basically flat out just telling people like, yeah, Russia did help us. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, you know, he said that most of their golf courses were funded by Russia.
Well, yeah, over half of them. Well, the ones that he was going to.
I just don't know.
apparently.
We keep saying and we keep saying and we sound like broken records on the show. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie that no one else gets but us. I mean, seriously.
You know, to quote Dave Chappelle, he had a new special on Netflix.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
He was like, you know what this is like? This is like, he's like getting in an Uber and having your driver have a crack pipe in the back of the and you're just like on a road by yourself with this crazy guy. You're just like, I really hope I don't die.
Jeez, yeah, I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think definitely we're heading towards impeachment for Trump. I think Trump's going down. Like I said,
This year?
This will be the beginning of the process, I think. With his base, as soon as the base starts to go a little bit more and the GOP start to flip on him a little bit more, yeah, I think it's definitely heading
Crank
towards.
out the doors. This is the
I think
end.
it's definitely heading towards Mike Pence, you know, ascending that Iron Throne, and Iron Throne he's not going to have to, and everyone's going to have to bend the knee to Mike Pence.
Oh, God. So this is going to be like a Joffrey thing, right?
Yeah.
Alright, since you're saying this, do you think he's going to be impeached by the end of the year, or if it's going to be in the second year?
No, I think I think he will definitely start, the impeachment will start this year, because if it goes into the 2020 election, he won't win. He just won't win. He just won't win.
But I will even make
I
it
mean,
there.
there's been so many polls and charts and studies done now where he's negative. He's negative here, like in 30 from Maricopa County, the county he won the most by. He's like negative 30 now.
On the red.
He was plus 30 when he won. Now he's a negative 30. Now that doesn't mean people don't support him.
No.
Here. I'm just saying there are less people that do support him.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is going to be the Minutemen podcast. This is your host, CT Rob, with the Squid.
We'll see you guys later.
And CT Steve.
We'll see you next time.
And good night, America. Thank you for listening. Check us out on YouTube and Twitter. Listen, like, subscribe, guys.
Bye now.